Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live, number 351. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. I'm going to show two cards tonight just because we are actually going to use our dies to cut out I don't know, what would you call it? The images, words are hard, out of the Designer Series paper. So a lot of the work is taking done for us. So we're going to make two cards tonight. So I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. And if you get motion sickness or anything like that, look away. And we'll get going. All right, so hold on. So hopefully everybody has had a nice weekend so far. And all right, so try to do this awkward transition without too much. There we go. Oh, it got stuck. Come on, there we go. All right, that's what happens. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do two cards tonight, and let's see. Okay, so we're going to squish in. Let's make this, there we go, right there. We're going to squish in just a little bit so we can get a little closer. Put a little light on the subject. And there we go. I think we're good, right? Not too crooked? Okay, so again, my name is Joy Borwedge. I have an Instagram page at Stampin' for Joy. My online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. The host code is 6QRHEVUV, and you can use that host code when you have an order that is under $150. When your order is over $150, do not use that host code because I want you to receive that free product that you are getting rewarded with. And Penguin Z33 at Outlook.com is my email address, so that if you do not have a demonstrator and you do not have these current catalogs, you can certainly request one from me. And my mini catalogs, that's this one, is coming up. I ordered another batch, so they're coming, and so hopefully they'll be here pretty soon. All right, so let me show you the two cards that we're going to be making tonight. Well, actually, let me show you the product that we'll be using, and then we'll show the card. So we're actually going to be using the Nests. Sorry, wrong thing. There we go. The Nests of Winter Suite and collection. And so what that means is that when you order the Suite collection, which is just one number, you get everything here, one of everything. Now, say the trim, the linen thread, the natural linen thread here is out. Then this number right here will say and not available. But you can punch in every other number here, and what shows up is available. So, and here are some ideas of what you can do with this beautiful suite. And the Designer Series paper is absolutely gorgeous, and I really love the birch, and then the birch tree folder, which is, it's called Birchwood 3D embossing folder, and that's this one right here. So we'll be playing with this suite tonight. And so let's show you the products that we're going to be using in this suite. Number one, we are going to be using the Winterly Treetops bundle. And what a bundle means is when you purchase these two together, you save 10%. Now, when you purchase the suite, you also save that 10%. And so that's part of what we're using tonight. Then we're also going to be using a greeting from this particular stamp set. It's called Choose Happy. It's in the annual catalog. And our card is going to be, it's going to say, Hello, Winter. And the winterly treetops, hi, Sherry, welcome. There's nothing in here that says Christmas. And so here's sending thanks and much love, thinking of you always. A friend like you brings me happiness. And so it doesn't say anything about Christmas in here. So this is a very nice all-around stamp set. And so we're actually going to be making 2 cards, kind of just basically winter themed. And the other stamp set, actually it's a bundle that we're using. This bundle is so cute. There's 2 dies in here. So it's called the Happy Little Things. And we're going to use the Best Day Ever. And then the 2 dies that are in here, we're actually going to be using them. So, which goes with this. So we're going to be using the greetings out of this for one card, and then the greetings out of this other card. And then we're using the bird image on the inside of the card, but then we're using the designer series paper for our main element. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut out this one right here and this one right here. So you can see that I have already cut a few things out. Now we'll show that to you in just a moment. But then we're also going to be using the Birchwood 3D embossing folder. Now, I was watching another demonstrator, design a card using this bundle, and she didn't know, and she actually said something while on the video, and somebody looked it up. And so if you do it this way, it's not wrong, but the actual indentations or whatever from the birch, it is horizontal and not vertical. But if you use it vertical, it's like I said, it's not wrong, but the actual way is this way. So we're going to be using that today. And let's see here. We're going to also be using embossing powder. So we're going to do 1 in white, and we're going to do 1 in black. Now this is the Wow embossing powder. It's on page 126. There are actually 2 kinds. You have the basics, which is the black, the white, and the clear, and then you have the metallic. And so we're going to be doing that. So let me show you the cards that we're going to be making tonight. So that one and that one. So we're going to have 2 winners to get a chance to win this card, or cards, I should say. So let's get going. And the designer series paper, I actually should show you the piece that goes with, so we're going to show you the snippet of it. And this is Nest of Winter 12 by 12. And so there are a front and a back. So you can choose. One side is more of an image based, and the other one, like this one here, if you look at very closely, those are little footprints of the birds walking. And so, I mean, like this one here doesn't say anything about Christmas or winter. These to me look like pussy willows, and the stripes, the whitewash stripes, I mean, nothing necessarily saying winter. And I love the fact that this one here and this one here and this one here also had bird images in there. So I just love it. This one here could be used for snow, but not necessarily. So, and then look at all the colors that coordinate with this. Basic black, blueberry bushel, cherry cobbler, coastal cabana, copper clay, crumb cake, daffodil delight, garden green, granny apple green, gray granite, night of navy, pumpkin pie, real red, and shaded spruce. So we used a little bit of shaded spruce and a little bit of the Coastal Cabana, and I actually pulled out the wrong color. I pulled out Pool Party just because I thought that that went really well with that, and so that's okay. Okay, so let's go and cut our pieces out that we need for this particular card that we're going to be doing today. And then don't kind of leave like a border when you're using the dies. And we're actually going to cut that one out right there, those berries, because we're going to use those. And so we're going to continue cutting off that tail. Now we're going to also use those berries there. So we need 2 berries for each card. So we don't need this piece, but what we're going to do is we're going to try to cut that off just in case I want to save this for something. You know, I could certainly do, you know, a lot nicer cuts so that it doesn't get caught in between stuff, but then we'll just toss that into the trash, and let's go get that one right there. So, but you want to leave enough space so that when you go around with the dies, you leave enough to cut. And so there's that one and that one. And then also from this sheet, I cut out these images. I cut out 2 of them. So you could certainly hand cut, fussy cut a lot of these birds, even though there's not any dies to cut them out. So I already cut those 2 ready to go. And so let's just put that right there. We're done with this sheet right here. Come on. I don't have fingernails. So it's kind of hard. So we're going to need 1 piece for that, 1 piece for that, and then 2 berries, and then those, and then 2 berries for that one. All right, so we're going to put this back in the cardstock package. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is, like I said, we have a piece of shaded spruce. That's for that one. And a piece of, this is actually Pool Party, just because I thought that went really well with those birds. And so then now I am going to grab my Simply Score tool, and this here is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and so we are going to go right in half, which is 5 1/2, and give that a nice, we're going to score that there, and then we're going to do this one. This is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then we're going to score that at 4 1/4. So like I said, we're doing 2 cards today, just because it's going to be so much easier when you use the Designer Series paper as your focal piece. And so we're going to take the bone folder, and we are going to give that a nice burnish so that it lays flat. Okay, and so that is going to lay this way. And then this one is going to go just like that and get a nice burnish for a nice crease. Okay, so then, so this one's going to be top like this, and this one is going to be top like this. Okay, so then now we also have two pieces, and these are 1/4 inch smaller. So this is 4 inches, so there's two of them. So they're both 4 inches by 5 1/4. And so one is going to go this way, and the other one is going to go this way. So I am going to emboss using the Birchwood 3D embossing folder. And so I'm going to grab my, let's see, first of all, we should do our embossing of our words first. And so we're just going to put these, let's see, I'm going to put these up here so I don't lose everything, because we might as well emboss our greetings and then cut everything out. So that would be good. Okay, so let's take those two pieces and put them up there. So this is our embossing pieces. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is we're going to do it in white. And so this is the WOW Opaque Bright White regular embossing powder. And so we are going to do that on this one, and then the black is going to go on this one. And so like we're just going to do, because we have the dark, I mean, black would look nice on here too, but I kind of wanted to show both colors. So now we're going to grab the embossing, this is the embossing tool additions kit. And so it comes with this tray and the embossing buddy, this paint or this brush, and these scissors, which are really cool because they are ceramic and they don't allow yourself, when they get heated, to burn yourself. And then this is a Stampin' Up! Brush from a long time ago. So I have always kept this to grab those little tiny crumbs. We don't sell this anymore, but it's one of the few things that I've kept around that has been retired. So I am actually going to take out the embossing buddy. And because I live in Minnesota and I have cats, we have static electricity here. So I like to take my embossing buddy and just kind of go around the tray, just because then the static cling doesn't allow, it'll make it easier to go in there. So then we're also going to take that embossing buddy and we're going to put that on there for our greeting. Okay, and then you need a Versamark. Now I re-inked up my Versamark, so it should be very juicy. And somebody asked me, well, how do you re-ink your Versamark? And so what I do is, I'll just do a little corner here, is I just poke in. Now see that just sits there, it's staying on, and I just take the snout, the tip, and I just blend that in. Now if you wanted to get a spoon to use that, go ahead. But this is a very tacky ink, so it works perfectly for embossing. And so now we're going to take the greeting for this one, which is going to say Hello Winter. And we're just going to go tap, tap, tap into the Versamark. And we're going to let that sit there for a second. And now that got very chunky. So I don't know if there's going to be any definition. So I'm going to wipe that off with a tissue so it's not going to get too sticky on the back side. Okay, I'm going to grab a scrap of piece of paper right now just because the Versamark is sticky on this side. I don't want it to be one big chunk that you have to decipher what that word says. So we're going to flip it over and just lightly tap. And then let that sit there for a second. There we go. That looks better for more definition. Okay, so we're going to close that up. And we are going to take the white embossing powder. And we're just going to put that on here. Whoa. And we're just going to dump that back in. Going to whack it, flick it. Okay. And I'm going to use the brush to get the majority of that off there. And then there's that little piece right there that I'm going to use my little brush. Okay. And if you don't get them all, once you heat it, it will not come off. Because this will heat up and it will stick. Yeah. And so I just basically try to either push it back into its word, or I try to take it off. Okay. So I think we're good on that one. And now normally I don't try to put this back in, but because we're going to do black, we're going to take the brush and we're going to push it all the way down to the bottom, and let that go. Come on. See, it's sticking. That's the reason why. And then I just use the brush to push it down into that hole, and then take that cover off. There we go. Unscrew that cover and pour it right back in. Okay, down in there. All right, so, and whatever, okay, so then I'm going to hit that right there, and just in case, because, you know, I'm going to do black with it, I don't want to mix those colors, and so now I'm just going to say whatever got dumped in there. Okay. Okay, so that's good. So you save, you know, I mean, this really helps save as much embossing powder as you possibly can. Okay, so now we're going to hold off on that. It's going to be fine just for us to do the black now. Okay, so we're going to take this again and wipe this, because it still has a little static cling in there. Okay, and then put the lid back on, and if there's anything white in there, I don't want it to go into my black container. So, okay, let's do that again. Okay, so we're going to wipe this down with our embossing buddy. All right, I'm actually going to put this on here so you can see that better, because it is, you know, a very light color, so sometimes it's easier to see things when you have a color underneath. Okay, and so this one's going to say the best day ever. So on this one, whoever wins this card can use it for a birthday. They can use it for somebody who got a new job, somebody who got retired, somebody who got a raise, somebody who got engaged. I mean, so best day ever. Could be also maybe somebody got married. So you never know what somebody might consider the best day ever. Okay. Now this one, you can definitely see where some of those extra parts might end up. And the reason why I get picky on these is because, number one, I'm mailing this card out to somebody. And then that somebody in turn is hopefully going to mail this card to somebody else. Or you could keep it for an idea on, you know, a card design. That's a good idea. Okay. But the idea is to, when you look at this card and you get happy mail, it's like, wow, somebody sent me a card, or I won a card from Joy. The idea is to send that smile to somebody else. Okay, I think I'm pretty good. Oh, no. Couple pieces right in there. And that's the reason why you want to use your embossing buddy. Okay. Okay, I think that's good, right? That looks good. Now, let's heat them up. Now, I'm going to move this so you don't have to watch me put that back in again. I'm going to move this over and get it out of the way of the heat tool. Okay. Gosh darn it. Twins are really going to win or lose this game 9-2. Oh. Alright, so best day ever. And now let's go from the back side. Keep that up. See how nice and shiny that is? Okay, so the other one is right here. I should be using my, I'm going to grab this for a second because it was getting a little warm. All right, even though it's, you know, fall and it is in the 60s right now, I do not need to burn my fingers off. Okay, so see how that just changes? Beautifully. All right. I like to do the front and the back, and that helps with the paper cardstock from bowing as much, so it'll sit more flat. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we're going to let these sit for a few seconds while we actually do some fussy cutting. Okay, and I'm going to actually take these two, and I am going to use what I call my rubber scrubber. This is in the annual catalog, and this is an old one, but I like to, on my, the ones that I use for the Versamark, I like to use the spray and mist and put that in there so that I kind of let it soak. So by the time I'm done with this video, they'll come off. The Versamark will come off really nice. Okay, so let's start cutting these little guys up. And when you fussy cut, you want to turn your paper and not your scissors. I'm going to have to go back in there and trim some more off. It got a little wide. I like to kind of keep a little thinner line. But when you're cutting something so small, you could probably rewind that a little bit and just do a little white border and not a big wide one. You're not going to notice too much just because the background is white. but that's just me. I kind of like to make it a little bit more even. Okay, there we go. One. And then another one. So Sherry, did you get any crafting done this weekend? Or I should say, like, any crafting in? I got my 3 cards designed for the event coming up. And I didn't talk about that. There. Alright, we'll leave that sit out for a while I'm fussy cutting. The event is coming up, so I got my 3 cards designed for that. Nothing more fun than watching somebody, cut out paper. All right, there's 2 berries for 1 card. And like I said, I got these already cut out. Thank you, Sherry. I have 2 fun folds and a beautiful card that is a little bit more simple, but it is beautiful. And I've seen the cards, some of the cards from the other demonstrators that are, and they got some really cool cards too. All right, there's 1 set of berries for the other card. And this one. Okay, I'm going a little wide on that one. Get a little closer. I mean, it's probably a lot easier to fussy cut something that's a little bit bigger. There. And when you have to do 4 of them live, yeah, it's not like, yeah, so the event is on the 26th of October. It's a Saturday. Okay, so where do I want to put these? Let's see, 1 for each card. So this one is going to be the Titmouse. I don't know how to, Titmouse? And that's those berries. And the Titmouse, I think it's called. And the tall one is going to be over here. So we're going to get those and those. Okay. So then let's do some die cutting and some embossing. Now the reason why I waited is because I didn't want I want to make sure that this is nice and cool and settled down so that when we put it through when I cut it out with the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, that it wouldn't ruin it, is basically what I'm thinking. So here is the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the embossing folder. So that one, when you do a 3D embossing folder, it says right here, when using with 3D embossing folder, use number 1 and number 4. So this is number 1, and number 4 is the dark. So now, like I said, this is the birchwood, And the birchwood is, this is the correct way that your paper should go. So this is directional, technically. So we're going to put, we can only do one at a time because one of them, hi Linda, welcome. So one of these is, because like I said, we're doing 2 cards, but one is going horizontal and the other one is vertical. So I need to make sure that I'm putting the sheet in properly so that this one goes with the horizontal card. Now you can decide, this here is the embossed side. You can also use the debossed side. So it's your choice to use whichever. So I'm going to do both of them embossed. So that one goes horizontal. This one is going to go vertical. And so I like the notch in there. I like this part. So that is going to go in there like that. Okay, so then now we're going to put that on top and roll that through. Okay. And so I decided, you know, when I was designing this card, I really like that part right there. When I was designing these cards, I was like, well, if I only did one card, it'd be really easy because I'm doing, you know, the designer series paper. I'm using that as the focal point. And I'm like, well, I can always make 2 cards. So that's how I designed, or that's why I designed 2. So then now we're going to actually do some die cutting. So we're going to use platform number 1, cutting plate number 2. Well, it's number 2. It's the adapter plate. And then, so we're done with these 2 pieces. So we can put them away. I just don't want to lose them. Okay, and then now we need a cutting plate number 3. And we're going to lay these out. And so that is the 1 die. So I'm going to grab my magnetic sheet over here that has both my pieces on it. And I absolutely love this designer series paper. I mean, it is stunning. Now there is a tiny hole right there. So you want to make sure that this hole is seen on your branch. And then you know that you have it in the right spot. Once you have it moved around your birds, make sure you can see that hole down there in that branch. And then you know where you have it is, you're good to go. So now I'm going to take my post-it notes and stick them down. And we'll stick one down this way too. Then we'll stick our other birdie on there. And this is the die. Now because we don't need this bird, or that part, I'm going to cut it off just because I'm going to try to do everything on here, and that piece didn't really need to be in there. So we're going to put that on there. And cut that. All right, so now I need more Post-it notes. I used them both for that one. And then I like to I use my words are hard. I reuse my Post-it notes until they're not sticky anymore. There we go. That one's good. Okay, now this one's going to say hello winter, and we are going to use the one with the flag on it. And we're not going to get too close, but we're going to get close enough and make sure it's flat. Straight. Make sure it's straight. Okay, we'll put that on like that. And then this one, we're going to trim this down. This is a piece of scrap that I had, and I just want it to fit on here. So, I mean, I really cut that down, didn't I? Okay, so now it's going to be straight on here. And then also, the reason why I had to cut these down was because when you have, when you have a straight edge like this on the die, you don't want to put it into the roller straight like that. You want to put it at an angle just so that it doesn't put wear on your wheels. Alrighty then. So I think we have everybody where we're good, where we like it. So now we're going to put that other cutting plate on top. And we're going to move the magnetic sheet out of my way. I like to have that just because when I'm done, I put them back on there. And I don't throw them away accidentally. I did that once. I had to go look through the trash. So see how it cut that bird out? I mean, like beautifully. Birds, I should say. Beautifully. So this one is going to go on the horizontal card. Yeah, so nobody really wants to go dumpster diving in their trash can. After, you know, a die. So that goes on the vertical. These two pieces are trash. Come on, let's go. Off. Okay. And then, see how nicely that gets cut out? Best day ever. Horizontal, and then those two trash. Okay, so now I got everything where it goes. And then this one, this one, it's a little crooked, just a tiny bit, but not bad. So we'll leave it go, but we don't need the other pointy parts off that. So we are going to save. I mean, we're done. So we're just going to put that through. I like to put that in there like that. And if I have a lot of Post-it notes, I'll stick it on. So then I don't lose them. And then this also, when I move this over here, I don't drop anything. All right. Okay, so now we're ready to put our cards together. Okay, so we are going to use dimensionals, and I'm at my end here, so I am going to use my scissors that I allocate for anything with a sticky on it. So basically these are for cutting my dimensionals and my pieces together. So I am going to move those, and I'm going to put adhesive on the back side of this. Now, because it has been embossed, I'm going to go all the way around because I don't want it to bubble up. I want it to lay flat. See how it can kind of get distorted? Okay. So we're going to lay that on here. So we're doing white on white. I think it's very regal looking. Okay. There we go. And then we have berries. Now where'd the other berry go? Right there. So I'm going to grab my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to put those upside down because you can see better on a darker surface. Hi Judy, welcome in. Okay, we're making 2 cards. We're using the Designer Series paper to, now we're done with that one, so I can throw that away and grab the next one. So I'm actually going to use my Take Your Pick tool now. So because we use the Designer Series paper as our focal point, I decided to make 2 cards. And also, because these are, because it's flimsier, you know what I mean? It's not as thick as cardstock. I want to make sure that it sits properly. So again, I'm going to grab my adhesive scissors and just create some skinny, these are the mini dimensionals, because they have a very nice racking around, or kind of, I think Stampin' Up! Did that on purpose so that allows us to cut the outside of this to the size that we need. And I forgot to cut that piece right there. Okay, so we want to give this, oh, part of it's sticking to me. This is the backing that it sits on. I'm going to grab my garbage can and just bring it closer. So I kind of want to put dimensionals where, so it doesn't sag. I think that one's a little too chunky, so we'll cut another piece. We'll just make it skinnier. There we go. And so if this was cardstock, I probably wouldn't use this many dimensionals, but that's okay. And then here's our berries. Now, if you guys, this is video number 351. If you go back to 350, I put a paper pumpkin kit together and I did the whole thing. Now, I'm going to give away 6 cards. So go back and watch that video and like it, share it, because I'm going to have 6 different winners. So I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to get in on the winning. And I am going to be putting mail. Happy Mail is about to be sent out tomorrow. I'm going to drop my cards off at the post office, and Mike looks at me and he goes, "These are a lot of cards." And I said, "Those are a lot of winners." So some people are going to get even more than 1 card because they've watched more than just one Facebook Live and they happen to win the drawing. So I put everybody's name in, who comments. I put them all in the same drawing. So whoever comments gets in the drawing, and then whoever shares 2 names go in the drawing, and then whoever does a like or a heart, their name goes in that same drawing. And so, oh, I want to make sure that my bird is on there, but it doesn't go off. There we go. I mean, how simple is that? Hi, Carolyn. Welcome. Yes, you'll have to catch the replay. We're doing 2 cards. Okay, so then now we are going to add a, let's go put the other one together. kind of go where we're at, because I'm going to make 2 bows for each. Okay, so this one is over here, and that one's there. Okay, so now we're going to put the, let's see, do we want to use the embossed side or the debossed side? I'm thinking, let's go debossed. And then we'll get, you know, this one's the embossed side, so that's the embossed. And then we're going to do the debossed side for this guy. So then you can see the differences. And like I said, one is a vertical card and one is a horizontal card. But again, we are using the focal points. We're using the dies to cut out. I've actually not done a Facebook Live with that before. And so I'm like, now is the perfect time to take the dies and cut out the image. I mean, I didn't have to color that. How cool is that, right? Okay, so, but first of all, we're going to move this one up. Okay, and we're going to put something extra here and something extra right in here. So we want to put adhesive on there. And put that on the back. And gonna a little bit right there, and then a little bit kind of how did I do that? I think, yeah, we're gonna do that. There we go. And see, the adhesive that's on the back side doesn't stick to the plate. Or it would stick to the plate, but it doesn't to this because you can lift it up just nice. So now we're going to put dimensionals here. And like I said, because this is Designer Series paper, I want to use a little bit more dimensionals on it than I would if I was using cardstock. So if I used basic white or thick basic white and stamped on them and then used, say, Stampin' Blends to color, then I would not have to do this. But I just want to make sure that it stands up. Now what you could do is die cut at the same time a piece of white and then attach it to that. And so then it's not as flimsy to stand up, but it will stand up just fine, being that I have all those dimensionals on there. Okay, so then now we are going to stab and grab those backings and try not to stick in there. Is that sticky? Yes, it's sticky. Okay, and then go in and get those little guys. Ah, it is very sticky. And see now, if this would have been my plate or my glass mat, or say my grid paper, it would have stuck, even if I didn't push down on it. Okay, then now we're going to get mini guys on this one. Okay. Okay, so then, let's see, did I take, yep, I took them off of those. I'm trying to keep them separate so I know where they're at for each card. Okay, so then now we're going to put two, one here, and one right there. And we're going to take that off. Okay. Then, okay, so we're done with the dimensionals. Now we're going to grab the ribbon. Now the ribbon that I'm using is where'd the silver go? I have silver ribbon. Oh, I stuck it on top. Okay. The ribbon is called Gold and Silver, and it is on page 113 in the annual catalog, and they're both the same size. Okay, so then I'm going to make my bow, and I'm going to wrap this up around my finger, and then I'm going to pull this through. So then there's no twisting of, and now I'm gonna have to fluff those up a little bit with my finger, and then grab my ribbon scissors and trim. I have a little bit of waste on here, but oh well. I didn't have to throw a lot away. Okay, so then that one is going to be right in there. So that's going to go kind of like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly set it down, and I am going to trim that right there. But I'm going to move that over there we go. Perfect. Okay, then we are going to put the berries right there and the berries right there. Okay, and then now we're going to make our other bow. I like to do it on the spool just because then if I need to redo it because I didn't cut enough off or I cut too much off, then I'm not wasting, I can go back in and redo it. I try to save as much waste as possible. I'm going to try to do that one right through so it's loose, and I'm going to flip that. There we go. Now it's the same. Now it's not flipped. Okay, so I'm going to pull that a little bit, tie it, and then fluff. This actually takes direction really well. It flattens, and then we'll cut that. Now these are Stampin' Up! Scissors that were from a long time ago. They're the ribbon scissors. And then, so I have a paper snips, which are current. Then I have the rubber scissors, the rubber that retired a long time ago. And then I have the ribbon. Now I put a little notch in there so that it holds my end piece so it doesn't undo itself in the bag. And I put it back in the bag because, you know, when you have cats, they like ribbon. It's an invitation to play, right? Okay. So then now, and actually what I should have done is, I forgot to do this the first time around. I'm going to grab a mini glue dot, and I'm going to put that on the bow, not right there. Oops. Darn it. This way. That's not what I really wanted to do. There we go. Once that goes on the first white, that goes there, this one goes here, then smush. Now it's not going to come out. Okay, so then we want to do that with this bow. So grab your mini glue dots and grab that, squish it, okay, and then as you can tell, I have 3, but I left kind of a bigger space in there between the other mini glue dots, and that goes over here, just a little bit off the paper. Go down just a tad bit. There we go. Right there, like that. There we go. And squish. Okay, so that's not going to fly out of there. Cool. Then, that one goes right there. That one goes right there. I mean, like, how cute is that? Like, it went really nice. And just think how many cards you can do with cutting out. Now, these two are dies, okay? But you can do the same with this designer series paper, too. And there's no dies for these guys, but think of sitting in front of a TV and just fussy cutting. I mean, it wouldn't take very long. You're enjoying yourself. Sometimes people like fussy cutting, some people don't. I find it actually very, I find card making very, what's the word? Gratifying, therapeutic almost. It just makes something pretty, and therefore, you know, you feel better about doing something. You know what I mean? Okay, now seeing as how this is silver, we are going to use the rhinestones. Now, as you know, rhinestones are one of my favorite things to use because you can color these with your blends to coordinate with anything that you already have. So because we're using the silver right there, I decided to use the rhinestones and not color them because of their silver quality, I guess. I'm using my take your pick tool to grab the I'm just making sure that I'm putting it in the spot where I originally designed it because, you know, I like it the way I did it. Okay, so see how we created a triangle? 1, 2, 3. So odd numbers are eye-pleasing. And then we're going to do something to the inside. Now this one says hello winter. And this one says best day ever. So I'm actually going to leave the greetings up to you guys on the whoever wins the card, because you can have different reasons to send cards. This one could be thinking of you, or maybe somebody moved to, say, Florida, and you got snow and they did not. So you're reminding them, hello, winter. Or maybe you live in a warm part of the country. Now this is pool party, and we are going to just grab a piece of scrap paper and we're going to stamp off. So the main color is that, and then we're going to put just something down in the corner here, just like that, something very simple. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. There we go. So what do you think? Not done yet. Can anybody guess what we're going to do? I mean, if you've been watching me long enough, you know. You know. All right, we're going to grab the Wink of Stella. And we're going to color the berries. All right, squeeze. Yes. I mean, you can see that compared to the boring berry right there, and then the Wink of Stella berries. Woohoo! Okay. Everybody gets Stellafied. And now I don't know what these, there are not wussy pillows. Pussy, that's what I really call them. I call them wussy pillows. So they are not any pussy willows in the winter. It's a spring thing. So on this particular one, we're going to do the leaf, okay? And then on the inside, we're going to do the berries. Okay. And then this one, we're going to do all the berries. So you certainly can use this design and stamp your birds and then color them with the Wink of Stella. I mean, stamp and blends. And then cut out, you know, use your dies. Because the stamp set, so the dies definitely cut out, you know, these two stamped images, and you can color them in. But you can use the design that you have here, doing the same thing. So in here also is this. This is a lot of fun to play with. And then here's the bow that cuts this out. The berries, the pussy willows, I don't know. To me, they're pussy willows. But you can either cut this out here, okay, and then cut this out. I don't know if this actually stacks on top. We could try that. I don't know. But then there's also bows. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome. I got 2 Carolyns. Yet. Okay. But, so what we did is, we took the Designer Series paper and we cut out using the dies. And then I decided to show what the white looks like and what the black looks like, embossing powder, and then embossed those. And then we used the birch to do the horizontal and the vertical. And then on the inside, we stamped the birdie. And so best day ever, like I said, could be a retirement or a birthday or a congratulations of something. Maybe somebody got engaged. Somebody put their 2-week notice in and they're going to get a new job. Whatever. Somebody maybe is retiring. Hello, winter. You know, you could start that in late November. Right now it's fall. I mean, it's officially on the calendar, fall. And today it even feels like fall. It's a beautiful day. So I want to say thank you very much. If you guys missed these cards being made, come back and watch the replay. I'm going to have 2 winners. So how you can get in the drawing is to do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets you entered. If you leave a comment, then that gets you entered. And if you share this, thank you, Judy, on your timeline. Number 1, there might be a paper crafter that hasn't touched their stuff in a really long time. This video might inspire them to make a card and send a card. Make somebody's day. Number 2, you're helping me get my name out there. And number 3, it might be inspiring for somebody who doesn't know how to make cards, but they like the idea. So this is a great way to start off. So again, thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening. I hope you have a great week. I might be back on Thursday. Depends on how busy we are at work. And I think that's it.